Let's talk about my personal business. Creatively, I'm a little bit stumped. Really being honest with myself about why I'm forcing myself to make a video that I don't want to make. Do you plan to visit Vancouver anytime soon? I'm proud of myself for processing how I'm feeling. Funny backstory about this mug before we get into it. I worked at this office and they were getting rid of all the mugs because they got company branded mugs. And they were like, does anyone want these random mugs? And I thought, yeah, I'll take these mugs because I did not have money and I needed mugs. So this literally has been with me since I first moved to Toronto in 2019. But we're not here to talk about mugs. I wanted to sit down and just kind of catch up with you guys. It feels a little nerve-wracking, to be honest, because I have no script, no outline. Well, a very loose outline, but I honestly just feel like I want to have a little catch up, and I've had some thoughts and feelings about YouTube and better out than in. I also asked you guys on my community post and on Instagram to ask any questions. So we're going to get to that. It's going to be a little Q&A. I apologize in advance if the lighting goes crazy because it's that time of day when it just gets like that. I felt a lot of things about my YouTube in the past few months, but I just couldn't pinpoint why I was feeling the way I was feeling. Also feeling like I couldn't exactly figure out what to make or what type of content to make. And I've talked about how important it is for me to find a sense of creative fulfillment and have that spark when I'm making content, because this is what YouTube has started out for me as. I never started it as a kid to make money. The backstory being I started making videos when I was literally 10 years old for funsies, and then it's continued to grow. Now it is something that I'm really grateful to be able to turn into a bit of a side business and also be able to make connections with people. And there's just so many amazing things that have come from YouTube. With that said, there was also a certain mindset that I think you have to have if you want to grow on YouTube. And that's basically consistency, posting on a schedule, making sure that, you really prioritize videos and content if this is something that you want to see become successful. And of course I wanted to be successful, and I literally made videos sharing tips with you guys about growing on YouTube, and so many of you have shared that it's been inspiring, and that means the world to me. And then I feel conflicted because I've been going through so many things in my personal life that YouTube unfortunately did start to feel a little bit deprioritized. So we'll get into the first moment in the timeline, okay? There's a lot of yapping in this video. I'd basically been uploading every week, primarily on Sundays. I don't have a record, but I did upload every Sunday for a good stretch and very rarely missed an upload. I would be up until like 3 or 4 a.m. some nights just to finish a video because I care that deeply about the schedule. Eventually, I got more efficient with certain things and I was able to cut back on some of the editing time. So I wasn't doing 3 or 4 a.m. nights all the time, but it did happen and I was willing to do that, no questions asked. Also, if I didn't have a video plan, I was gonna do whatever it took to make a video happen. And then the first time in over 2 years of me vlogging and everything, I really did have to take a break. And that was basically when I was going through a breakup from a long-term relationship that was on camera at certain points. And I also was sharing a living space. My dog is barking. I was sharing living space with my then partner, so it wasn't logistically possible and emotionally not really something that I wanted to do in terms of filming and like trying to just put out content. So in the time that I was trying to figure out my life and we were going our separate ways, I really did have to stop making videos. And that was hard because I always thought that I was going to be able to figure out how to keep the consistency as long as possible. And there's a real life and real personal things that end up happening, and I needed to prioritize myself. So I begrudgingly took the break. When I did start planning how to make videos again. I realized that I've been vlogging and I love vlogging. I love watching vlogs. I think there's so much that you can do with a vlog from a storytelling and creative perspective. But also when it came time to making my own vlog and I just went through this personal thing, I realized that that's part of what vlogging is. It is part of how you're going to share the parts of your life that you feel comfortable with sharing. And I couldn't really just show up in a new place and be like, hey, haven't posted in 6 weeks or however many weeks, and here I am. So it took me a while to figure out how and whether I did want to share something that was so personal and private in a way that would still be respectful for everyone's privacy. So that sparked my videos to come back. And now in the past few months, I feel like I finally grasped a style that I like, but I also realized that the best videos for myself and the ones that I'm most proud of are the ones that I'm excited to make. This is all gonna come together, okay? As much as consistency is important, I also feel like if there's something that you're doing that brings you joy and you feel creatively fulfilled doing, it is such a better experience for yourself as the creator and also for the viewers, because I think that does come through. So I started to give myself some leniency. Have not done the Sunday uploads in a really long time. In fact, I, as you may have noticed, have been not as frequent with my uploads as I was before. It's hard for me to say this, but it is intentional. I think it's a culmination of, one, going through my personal challenges and then having to kind of have a moment of reassessment about boundaries. I've never felt like I shared too much. I never regret sharing anything, but that was the first time where I really was like, oh, this is uncomfortable. Like when things are going good, it's easy to share stuff. But then when it's not going so great, I want to help people if you're in a similar situation, but there's also some privacy that I will always want to keep. And then the second thing is the creative spark that I felt in making the videos. I think the most that I felt was making the travel vlogs when I was in Japan. I had such a good time editing those. I had the best time filming them. I was traveling alone and a lot of you guys found me through those videos. But if I could make that video every month, I would feel so fulfilled creatively. Not that I'm going to go to Japan every month, but if I could be that excited about a video every month like that, that's what I want YouTube to be for me. But I don't have a format yet that is sustainable because I can't go to Japan every month. So creatively, I'm a little bit stumped. I think I'm trying to figure out what is that sweet balance, because I will always want to vlog to some capacity. I still want to have like those more casual videos, sit downs, whatever. But yeah, I just really craved that excitement that I felt when I made a video that I was proud of, that I had fun making, and that I had fun editing. So that was another realization. And then the last thing that kind of added to all of these thoughts I was having was just time. I think I finally felt like I have a sense of what balance is, because I had to take that break from not uploading, that I actually felt like I had this time, which was weird at first because I was like, I should be editing something. But then I grew to really enjoy it. It felt like I could spend my time doing other things without the guilt of not editing because I had nothing to edit. I've also felt the most social that I've ever felt in my entire life, to be honest. I feel like it gave me the space as well to do a lot of work on my mental health, just a lot of reflection that I think I needed the space, the mental space to do. So in a way, that break, apart from the reason that I had to take it and apart from the fact that I didn't want to take it, I think it was still good for me because it showed me that having time for myself is important. You can love the things you do and you can love your passions, your side projects, whatever, but there is something to be said about making space for yourself, your friendships, family, relationships, etc. So those are all some of the things that I've been feeling and have made me realize, for me, I love YouTube. I love YouTube so much that I see myself doing videos in 5 to 10 years from now, which is kind of a crazy thing to say. But in order to do that, I need to make sure that I don't get burnt out. And I need to make sure that I'm doing it for the right reasons and continue to do it for the right reasons. And that means being thoughtful about the videos I'm making, really being honest with myself about why I'm forcing myself to make a video that I don't want to make, or why I am forcing myself to stick to a schedule that is not serving me. I think, again, the schedule and the consistency parts, I would not have grown or learned the skills that I did without being consistent. But at this point, I feel like I've tested so many different things, and now I kind of have an idea of what I do want to focus on. For me to spend more time and energy on things that I am not passionate about or videos that I don't really care about is a disservice to me and a disservice to you guys, because the videos are not going to be as good as they could be. I'm so excited for some of the videos that I have planned in the coming month or so, maybe a bit longer, because they are bigger projects, I like to think of them as. That's how I want to feel. I want to feel like I can't wait to film this. I can't wait to edit this. A couple weeks ago, actually, I had filmed a day in my life, but I filmed it because I wanted to have a backup video. I think that says a lot, because I clearly wasn't really that excited about it. And a couple days ago, I had a whole day to myself for the first time in like that whole week. And I was like, okay, this is a great opportunity. I should just film just to have footage. And then I was like, wait, like what am I doing? And yes, there are gonna be some casual videos that are not these big productions, but I think my internal dialogue, as I just explained, says it all. I think it is different and would be different if this was my full-time job, which it's not. And if I had to rely on pumping out videos because it's going to pay my bills, then of course it would be a little different. But I am in a privileged place now where I can treat this as something that is fun and as a business, but a side business. Again, I see this as a long game. I see myself doing this for as long as possible, and I don't want to burn out. So that's kind of how I've been feeling. I've been talking for way too long, so I hope that that all made sense. All right, let's have a sip of this tea. It's still shockingly warm. Now we shall move on to the Q&A. I did get questions on Instagram and YouTube. I have been posting a little bit more on Instagram, so if you want to catch up with me there, feel free to do so. Let's start with some fun, casual questions, okay? First question, how did you get into snowboarding? It looks so fun. So I did share my little solo snowboarding adventure. I also went one more time this year. It's almost May as I'm filming this, so the season is gonna be over very soon. I started snowboarding when I was like 10, so I did start really young, and I've talked about this with my friend because I don't think I would have the patience or determination to learn snowboarding at this age. And I know people that actually do pick it up in their 20s, and I'm like, that's so growth mindset of you, because I could not. But sorry, if you want to start, you should definitely start. But I am grateful that I got to start when I was a kid. The next question is what my ethnicity is and if I speak my parents' mother tongue. I am, drumroll, Chinese. I am fully Chinese. I was born in Canada. And then in terms of speaking, I do speak Chinese, but it's very broken, so it's not fluent. I am on Duolingo, and I have been on Duolingo for over 900 days. Shout out to Duolingo. Next question was, do you plan to visit Vancouver anytime soon? I do have a trip lined up this year, which I'm really excited for, and I haven't been back since, oh my gosh, Christmas 2023. So it's been a hot minute. I have seen my family since then, which is good, but just something about being back in your hometown. Another very good question was, if you could read only 5 books over and over for the rest of your life, which would they be? Actually, let me grab them real quick because I have free will. These are my top picks as of now. We'll start with fiction, Love and Other Words, top tier romance. It's just like that perfect love story. Another top tier romance, The 7-Year Slip. I think I'm gonna reread this next because I ate this up. I love the Throne of Glass series, and I would like to say the last book of the series is my all-time favorite, but if I had to pick one that I would reread, it would be this one, because you're meeting all the characters, you're understanding the world. Nonfiction, Tuesdays with Maury. This book made me cry a lot. I don't know, there's mixed opinions about it. I've clearly tabbed it up. There were so many lines that I really resonated with. Last book is Atomic Habits. Everyone and their mom knows this book. I read this and then I listened to it, I think. But I really enjoyed it. I don't think it's groundbreaking stuff, but I think it's a really well packaged way of approaching productivity. It's written in the way that I'd want a self-help book to be written. As of now, those are the 5 books I'd read for the rest of my life. Let's talk about my personal business. I did get multiple questions on Instagram and YouTube about how things have been since the breakup and how I've been doing since the breakup. In general, I'd say I am really grateful for everything that I have in my life right now in terms of the support circle I have and where I've been able to get with my mental health. I'm proud of myself for processing how I'm feeling. But on that topic, one question was, since living alone, do you feel you found or are finding a new version of yourself? I would say 1,000%. You are so intertwined with your significant other when you start to live with them, and you can have your own things that you're doing, hobbies, whatever. But at the same time, it is a big part of your life. And it's not like you can just go back to who you were before your relationship, because obviously that's not how things work either. I think this version of myself is the best version of myself so far. Sorry, it's getting pretty dark and I'm trying to salvage the lighting. And then I did get some general questions about Calgary. I think this is probably going to be the last thing that I talk about because it's getting dark. I got a few questions about how I'm liking Calgary. And then one question was, is it a city that has lots of stuff to do? I've been really liking Calgary, and I can't believe it's been less than a year since I've lived here. I think it's a really great city for the pace of life that I'm at right now. I've also felt like I've been way more active than I ever was before, and especially living in Toronto. When it comes to things to do, and if it's a city that has lots of stuff to do, I think it depends on what stuff you're looking for. If you're looking to be closer to outdoor activities and being more active, like I said, then this is perfect. I think if you're looking for more like nightlife and stuff like that, that's not really here, so I will say that. But again, it depends on what you're looking for. I feel like there's a lot of new places and stuff like that around the city that I've been really liking. Another question was if I knew anyone in Calgary before I moved, and also if it's been hard to make friends in Calgary. I knew one person, and she has since moved out of Calgary. She moved away before I even arrived. So basically, to answer your question, no, I did not really know anyone. I knew that coming here, when I arrived, it would be the best time and opportunity to put myself out there and try to meet people. And I did have a video that I made a while back when I really tried to do all the things, basically all the things that people told me to try in order to make friends. I'm really, really grateful to say that I've made some really good friends through some of the different things I talked about. Like, I've used Bumble BFF, I've gone to book clubs, I've gone to networking events, and here and there, you know, you end up making one or two connections at a time. So did I find it hard? I don't think it's hard, but I don't think it's easy either. I think you do need to put in the effort outside of your day-to-day. Like, if I just worked at home, which I do, and I didn't go out of my way to try these creative approaches at making friends, I would not meet anybody else. I think that it is the same no matter where you live. I think if you want to meet people, you do have to try to like do these things. And I think you have to have realistic expectations about not being best friends with every person that you meet. I used to get very disappointed if it didn't work out or if we lost touch or something. And I realized, again, you're not going to be best friends with everyone, but it doesn't hurt to try. And I think Calgary is really special in the sense that a lot of people here are newer to the city, so that kind of opens up the door, or like you have that common thing because you're experiencing Calgary together for the first time. Okay, I am so sorry. I'm running out of time and it's getting dark. I think there's going to be some that I will get back to or like add to another video in the future. And the last question about Calgary is how I manage living expenses and paying rent in Calgary. I heard it's expensive to live there, or do you find life in Toronto more expensive? And would you ever move back to Vancouver? Okay. Many questions in that one. Expenses wise, I will give you a frame of reference. Before my last relationship, I did live by myself in a studio apartment in Toronto. I was paying more in rent for a studio apartment than I am paying for a one bedroom here. That was 2019, 2020. So that kind of puts into perspective, like, there is a noticeable difference in cost. I do think Toronto is more expensive, and in terms of Vancouver, it is way more expensive. I don't have any plans in my foreseeable future to move back to Vancouver. I'm not going to say never, but it has not been on the horizon for me. I do love to see my family, but in terms of plans to move back, it's not something that I've really thought about. So I'm sorry I did not get to every single question. My Canadian accent just went full force there. But thank you guys for being here. Thank you for listening, for all the support. We just hit 39,000 subscribers as I'm filming this. I can't believe that 40,000 is around the corner. If this video resonated with you, make sure to give it a like and let me know your thoughts. I'd love to chat in the comments. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video.